Welcome once again to the Allon Exchange with Jay and Brittany Hagee. They are the co-founders of Allon Planning Partners. I'm your host, Spike Spangle. Every single week, Jay and Brittany help you with retirement planning solutions. Brittany, how are you this week?
Hi, Spike. Doing well. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. Jimmy Wayne Hagee Jr., how are you doing?
Hey, you know, if you become a client of ours, you'll realize that's my legal name, right? So I get that. I am a junior. We just found this out and had a conversation about it. So yes, I'm doing great, and I'm glad.
I'm sorry.
Glad to be talking. Yeah, go
I
ahead
hope
and spoil it
if
for
you
everybody.
see a different host next week, you will know why. Jimmy Wayne
he's
Hagee
good.
Jr. That's a whole country song
mouthful.
right
That's
there.
my
That's a
country
mouthful.
western
That
show
or a
name.
NASCAR driver, I think. Absolutely.
I miss my calling.
No, you are actually in the midst of your
That's right,
calling.
man.
The way
That's
that you
right.
both help people with retirement planning strategies every single week is amazing. Today we're going to talk about how exactly you can map out your own financial success, especially when it comes to retirement planning.
Yeah.
So my very first question is, does it just happen without planning? Can you just luck your way into a good retirement, or does it
Don't
take
we
some
wish?
planning?
Yeah, that's a hard no. Definitely. I mean, it takes such intentionality and such purpose. We talk about planning with purpose, planning on purpose, and planning for purpose. And you have to, it really makes a difference. So planning with purpose is being strategic. You got to be strategic in how you invest and how you save and how you prepare. Prepare for purpose, which is the why, which is what's really most important, or really at the top of the list. Why are you planning the way you're planning? What is it you're working towards? And then also on purpose, being intentional, of course. It does not happen by
Yeah,
accident.
I want to make it really simple real quick. Me and Brittany love to travel. A lot of the clients that we serve love to travel. We are pretty detailed about that travel. I can't just show up to the house and say, hey, Brittany, have a suitcase packed in the next 30 minutes and we're going to go on a 2-week trip, right?
Sounds fun, though.
It sounds fun. We love
She'll be
spontaneous.
like, I'll do it, honey.
We
Let's
love
try
to
it.
travel. But the issue is, where are we going? How are we going to get there? What kind of clothes do I need to pack? What's the climate look
Well,
like?
it's because
You know,
it's
how long
different
are
if
we
you're going to
staying?
take Brittany over here to the Bahamas or if you're going to take her over to Sweden.
Correct.
It's a totally
big
different
difference.
package.
And then what are we going to do with our kids? That's another
Oh,
big
well.
question,
Most
right?
important.
Yeah. So
Yes.
so the deal is, if you're going to have some kind of intentionality around a trip that you would take with you and your family, how much more intentionality do you need to have in your retirement planning? I mean, it's your future. This is how you're going to live through retirement. So it absolutely takes purpose-based planning.
And
talked-
I will say not just your future, but your today. Because what people are experiencing today, you don't just have to say, hey, I want to work towards this and go for that. Absolutely, that's what planning is.
Sure.
But you can also experience better today. It doesn't just have to be this nebulous idea of sometime in the future. It
Well,
can be
I
different
think
now.
that's why it's hard, because if you've never gone into retirement, you don't know how long you're going to be there. You don't know how long you've got to make your income last. You don't know about long-term care. Should I or shouldn't I take Social Security at this age or that age? It's all of the unknown. So you said the nebulous, moving into the nebulous of retirement. I like that. I think we're going to coin that phrase here at the Allon Exchange.
That's good.
But I think what I'm really liking, though, is you using the word purpose. Because we've talked on another program about giving purpose
That's right.
to your money. Now, there's another thing, and let's broaden this up. It's not just a purpose for all of your life savings. Sometimes don't we have to compartmentalize out the different areas of our money, whether it's savings, money we're going to use right away, in the middle, down the road?
Absolutely. You have to have purpose for every bucket of money that you're going to use. If you're going to save up funds for a down payment of a house in a 24-month period, well, we wouldn't want to put that money in a 5-year CD, let's just say, right? We want to make sure that it has purpose for what we're saving for and that it is intentional on where we put that money
Yeah,
to work
because
for
a
you.
lot of people may think, well, I will invest my funds in X specific way, whatever that might be. And that is kind of just overarching for all of their funds, when that should not be the case. You should have different buckets, we like to use that term, different buckets of money for different purposes that will achieve different things for you.
That's part of a
And-
diversification strategy.
Yeah,
right?
and the way you invest those different buckets are going to look different and should look different because they work to help you reach that specific
All right,
goal.
well, I've got to ask you, since you just brought that up, what is then the difference between, let's say, investing and financial goal setting?
Yeah.
Because investing is growth, hopefully, positive gains, right?
Sure.
But goal setting is, I want to take that vacation once a year, or I want to be able to afford to fly the grandkids down to Florida when
much
we
broader.
retire.
Yeah.
Goals and investing, same, different?
Investing is just a part of the financial plan. Investing
Goal
is just
setting,
a
yeah.
piece of that goal setting. You should have goals for specific investments, yes, but the goal setting is much broader. And here's something that people don't talk about a lot, but it's the change that will occur in your goals. Your goals are going to adjust as you go through life. So it's not that you set a hard, fast goal and that can never change. It's going to change. Your situation in life will change, and you'll have to adjust to that. Yeah, your plan and the way you invest should be fluid to kind of change with the needs that you have of each season.
And we also talk about how behavioral finance plays into this, because there's a psychology behind it. And the psychology says I'm investing or I'm goal setting for two different things, either to attain pleasure, so I'm going to work for something, or I want to avoid the pain. I do not want to hit something, right? And so we want both of those to be motivations, right, in the way we set our financial plans, because we want to get you to and through retirement, and we want you to live the lifestyle that you've become accustomed living all the life while you've had when you've worked and earned a paycheck. But we also want to avoid the pain of the mistakes, and the volatility we're seeing right now is causing people to rethink how they're even invested, because they're looking at maybe I needed to avoid some more of this pain that I'm feeling right now.
Well, yeah, goals and plans can change. Look, we've got to talk about it this year. We've heard about a lot of organizations with layoffs.
Yeah.
Even though we understand that unemployment is relatively low right now, but it just seems like every day I open up the newspaper or go online and see another company. Goldman Sachs, I know everybody feels bad there. But in the tech sector, a lot of mortgage companies having to lay off because it was a great mortgage run.
When interest rates rise, it's harder to get those mortgages, right?
So there's more and more people. And so then as our goals change, whether it was forced upon us or because they've just changed, or we wanted to get the kids to college, now you passed over that hurdle and we're working on our retirement. What do you do when the goal changes are out of your hand? Is it important to start your financial planning for retirement early, even though we're in an accumulation phase of our life?
Yeah, you better start early.
Sooner the better, absolutely. And I want to talk a bit about the motivation behind some of these goals, because a lot of times we may set goals based on the motivation of guilt, like, I really should be doing this. Like after the holidays, man, I really should eat better. Or, with our finances, I really overspent. I probably shouldn't spend as much, or I should be saving more for retirement. But the problem with guilt, and that being the motivator, is that wears off. Guilt wears off, and then what do? A lot of people drop off and don't see their goal through. The goal never gets met because the motivation stops. So what we want to do is shift that motivation to something that's more tangible, and really something that, again, like attaining of that pleasure. So looking ahead, thinking, this is what I can have. This is how I can live. This is who I can be as I continue this journey forward. So envisioning that and keeping hard, fast focus on where you're headed. It's like when you're driving. When you're driving and I've got a left turn coming up, I'm not focused on this wheel and trying to
or
turn.
texting.
Yeah.
So let's go.
That's a big
one.
right
Not be
there.
texting.
Yeah.
But you're looking at where you're going. You're looking at where you're going, and your hand just follows. Your hand makes the wheel turn. So as you keep your vision fixed on where you're headed, your percentage of success is going to increase.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I've got to keep us focused where we're headed. Jay, why don't you let folks know what they can get when they call the phone number as far as a retirement review or even a planning review? Maybe you're in your 40s or 50s and you say, hey, these are important matters to me. I'd like to start setting some goals. Or even if you're in your 60s, tell folks what it would be like to give a call and come into the office.
Absolutely. We're going to take a comprehensive approach to when you come into the office and look at your full financial picture. We want to help you set a good financial plan and a good goal, right? And so in doing that, we're going to take a look at what's happening right now, your income and your expenses, your budgeting. What's that look like? Your spending plan. We talked a lot about that. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about your portfolio right now and analyze it to make sure that it's the right risk tolerance and that you're not feeling the weight of the market volatility that we're dealing with right now, right? And unnecessarily. We're going to look at tax planning. That's huge. We're going to make sure that you're saving money in your taxes so that you can not have to take as much risk maybe on those investments as you should be doing. But we look at a comprehensive approach to set a good goal for you so that you know that you're on the right plan, you know that you're on the right track, and bring that peace of mind to you. We would love to sit down with you and discuss that.
More of the Allon Exchange when we get back right after this. Make sure that you call to get your own retirement plan review, your goal setting plan. Call 691-7317. When we come back, Jay and Brittany are going to explain some of the tools that they have that you might not at home to help you set your financial goals. More right after this.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
Welcome back to the Allon Exchange with Jay and Brittany Hagee. They are the co-founders of Allon Planning Partners, a retirement planning and strategy investment wealth firm right here in the area. If you're seeing us on the airwaves, Jay and Brittany would be happy to help you with your retirement goals. In fact, that's
right.
what we're talking about. We're talking about goal setting.
Right.
Now, okay, I've got a lot of goals. I'd like to
Sure.
live 300 days a year in Hawaii. That's a goal. That would
There's a
be
goal.
nice. I'd like to be able to fly my family back and forth so they could visit me for a couple of those days.
There you go. There you go.
But goals and tools completely different. Now, I know if I go to my work plan, there's a 401k in there's a calculator, but I have to do all the input. There's all kinds of online calculators, but I've got to do the input. Should I be the one responsible?
Should you be responsible for
Yeah,
that?
exactly,
Right.
because I've never
Yeah.
gone into retirement, so how do I know what to input?
Yeah, and not only that, a lot of times if it's presets that they're using, it's based off of algorithms that may not be in your best interest.
Oh, in fact,
right?
there's
May not
usually a
fit your
couple of numbers that are pre-filled in there,
Yeah,
like 7%
absolutely.
for returns and 2%
The returns
for
are
inflation.
always different, and so do we really know that that's the position to be in all throughout retirement, or even to retirement if you're still contributing right now? So no, we help folks customize that much more than an online tool that you have to figure out all of these numbers to plug in yourself. And specifically, when people come in for us, we want to set SMART goals, right? And we're going to break down that acronym because it's not new to most folks, but it really is helpful. So we want to give you a SMART goal when you're looking at your retirement.
Because we're talking about how to experience success in these areas and not just set a goal and never attain it or never reach it, but how to see it through. It's not just about setting it, but it's about how do we actually see it through.
So let's walk through SMART. If I'm starting with the S, we want to be specific. So you want to get very specific on the goal that you want to accomplish. So say that you're wanting to save more for retirement this year. You're talking about plugging it into the plan at work and whatever online tool you have.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying, I would like to, save a little bit more for retirement. I know I need to. Get real specific. I want to save 10% of my income this year in retirement, right? Okay, that's a specific goal. We know whether we can hit that or not, right? We can look at other variables to help. So get real specific in your goal. I want to save 10% of my income for retirement.
Or if you're just starting, maybe you saved just 2% last year, say, okay, this year,
I want to save another
I want to
2%.
save another 2% and bump that up to 4%.
Sure.
Right? So again, specific.
But
So you get a little
not being
cost of
vague.
living adjustment at work, maybe put half of it to your pocket, a little bit more
Yeah,
to the retirement savings.
savings.
Yeah, so it's very simple. SMART is specific, and then it's measurable. You want to be able to make sure that you can, assess how you're doing along the way. So, am I actually hitting the goals and creating small milestones to
How do
know
you track
if I'm
your
tracking
progress?
it right?
Yeah.
Right.
How do you
And so
track
we
your
help
progress?
track that. Like that, if we're working with you, we are that accountability coach, and we're going to help you track those goals and make sure they are measurable. But specific, measurable, attainable. Here's a big one: is because
Yeah.
we want to encourage folks to take risks, dream big, do these things. But we also want to make sure that we're not being bad coaches and saying, yes, anything's possible in the world. You know, as much as I would like to fly, I don't have wings, like, unless I use an airplane, right? If I want my doctorate, it's probably going to take me longer than a month to get, right?
You go attainable. You know, you say, I want to be able to run a 6-minute mile. Go,
Yeah.
Jay, when was the last
not
time you
built for
did
this.
cardio? Hey,
Yeah.
I don't like doing the cardio either.
I'm built
Well,
to
and
push.
for
yeah.
those types of things, just go back to measurable. Set something that let's take some baby steps. How do we if we want to do a
Assess
6-minute
it.
mile? Hey, that's great, but let's set a time frame for that. How do we train for that?
If you
That
want to
takes
live
training.
300 days in Hawaii, you know, maybe start off with
Yeah.
a couple weeks first.
Okay, I
Make
get
sure
you,
that
I
we
get
can
you.
get there, right? So let's make sure it's attainable. So the R is relevant, and this goes back to our why. We want to make sure that it's a strong enough, relevant goal that you're going to stick to it.
Why
that it's
is it
not
worth
something that it's-
pursuing?
That's
Yeah.
something that just fall to the wayside if the first hard part that we come to.
Well, because sometimes folks might come to you and say, I want to save as much money as possible. You go, okay, but what is that relevant to?
Yeah,
What
it's vague.
are
Why?
you doing with it?
Why?
Why? Your why.
Yeah.
Always asking the why behind it.
Absolutely. So we got to make sure it's relevant. And the last one is time framed. We want to make sure that it's captured in a specific time frame. And if we have to be fluid, which we talked about with these goals, sometimes things happen that are out of our control and we have to change those time frames. But let's go ahead and get specific on the time frame as well. Just like we talked about at the beginning, I want to save X amount to my retirement, whatever that specific number is, 4%, 10%, whatnot, this year, right? Make it time framed so that way you have something to stick to, okay?
Yeah.
So SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time framed. That's what we're looking for when we help people set financial goals.
All right, well, Professor Hagee, I appreciate the SMART acronym there, but what I want to know is, do you maybe have a client or maybe an experience where you took somebody through kind of
Multiple,
these steps?
you know, I could go through, you know, 100 of those goal setting sessions that we've had. But recently in the last month, I had a newly retired couple that did not have a very good income plan put together yet, right? And so they were just walking out, starting their retirement, and they're like, well, we think we should be taking X amount of dollars out of our retirement account each month, but we really don't know. And so I had to take them through this. Okay, let's get real specific. How much do you need to live on, number one? What did the assets look like? Where are they positioned? I mean, we had to walk through every detail, but we got real specific in what they needed every month first, right? And then we found a way to track it and make it measurable. And is it attainable to continue this lifestyle
it
through the
realistic?
rest of your life, right? With Social Security distributions and things like this. So, you know, I do this all the time, but, you know, in the last month, you know, walking this couple through this and now getting them to a place to where they understand how much they're taking, exactly how they're positioned, and feeling comfortable with how they're living out their retirement because they don't have to guess if this is going to work out for me, but we have a proven track record to make that work.
Which that makes all the difference right there, when you can have that peace of mind and just know, hey, I've put together these goals, and again, it's not this far out in the future thing. It's something that I can track. It's something that I can consistently work towards and celebrate victories along the way. It really does provide such peace of mind, and that's what we have clients. Actually, this week we had a client come to us and just say, thank you so much for how you helped me navigate through this situation, one specific situation she had recently faced. And just helped her through that in a way to where that weight was lifted, and she knew, I have done the work, I've done the preparation, and I've planned, and I don't have to worry.
Well, and I want to give one more because we've been working with one client for a couple years now on a big goal, on paying off all their debt, right? They really wanted to be out of debt and quick as possible, right? So we've been working and put a plan for them together for them over the last couple years that says, okay, let's take this a little bit at a time. Let's take away baby steps, you know, so that you can get to that full goal, and make celebration moments as they come, you know, so make them small. So if you want to pay off, let's just say $10,000, every $1,000 that you pay off in debt, celebrate that in some way. You know,
big.
do a small dinner or something, because you're probably sacrificing in order to get to that, right? You're sacrificing and not celebrating a lot. But if we set up little places to celebrate along the way, people will stick to those goals
and
a lot more.
that's increases our motivation. It motivates us more. Okay, I can stay on track here. That's a little reward for my look at the reward for my effort and continue down the path.
And also having an accountability partner, whether it's
You have
you
to
as the
have it.
financial advisors or spouses together. Say,
It's
hey,
both.
Man,
I think it's
we
both.
tell both. Yeah, and not only just spouses, but individuals that they need other folks besides us as well. We want to be that accountability partner for folks, but you have to have a community around you
Yeah.
that is going to encourage you in this, right? Because there are sacrifices to be made, and it's not always easy to hit the goals that we want to hit.
Brittany, I need you to be my commercial accountability coach
Uh-oh.
right here. We've got to go out to. Will you tell folks what they'll get by calling the phone number here with a review?
Yes, a complimentary consultation. It looks no obligation. There's no stress. There's no pressure. It's easy. We ask questions, we listen, you talk, you ask questions, and it really is just this relational exchange. That's why we named this show the Allon Exchange, because it's more than just this transactional approach that typically happens within our industry. There is a relational component here to where we really just want to hear from you and allow you to ask questions so that we can provide solutions and answers for those problems that you're facing. 866-691-7317. That's the number to call. You could also use the QR code in the corner of your screen as well and schedule your complimentary consultation today.
As Brittany likes to say, just give it a little poke.
Yeah.
Open up your phone to the camera and just poke on the little
That's
QR code
right.
right down there. It'll take you right over to their website. We're going to talk about, we've said a lot about setting goals, but how do we keep those goals when maybe the road gets a little bumpy? When we get
Yeah.
back, more of the Allon Exchange with Jay and Brittany Hagee right after this.
How confident are you in your current financial plan? Do you know with certainty how the recent market volatility will affect your future hopes and dreams? How much are you paying in taxes? And how much are you losing to unnecessary high fees? You didn't work to save this money so that you could spend your time worried in retirement. Now is the time to take charge of your finances so you can feel confident about your future. Call in during the next 30 minutes of today's show only to set up an absolutely complimentary, no obligation, full-blown financial review that will result in your own customized written plan that we're giving away complimentary to the first 10 people who respond. We'll start with a full-blown analysis of what you already have. By running a report to untangle how much you are currently paying in fees, how you're allocated for risk, and what it's costing to work with your current advisor. Next, we'll identify your goals. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you want to go, and who do you hope to go there with? Is your current financial plan set up to get you there without mishap? Let's design a roadmap to create a financial plan you can follow with confidence. Get the piece that so many people are missing from their retirement. Find out how having a written plan can make a difference to your retirement dreams. Call now to schedule your complimentary, no obligation, full-blown financial review today.
Welcome back to the Allon Exchange with Jay and Brittany Hagee. We're talking about goal setting, financial goal setting, and more importantly right now, how do we stay on track when the road gets a little bumpy? We don't always have control. We mentioned up at the top of the show, we have seen a lot of layoffs around the country, even around here. Sometimes our goals get off track, maybe health-wise, and so we need to start pulling from some of those savings accounts. Is it all financial, or is some of it physical and muscle memory?
Well, it's definitely more than just behavior modification. We don't want to just change the way we're acting or what we're doing, but we have to change the way we think. We've got to change the way we think about money, how we view money, and how we think about these goals. There's all these different phases and places in our lives where we have to really make a mindset shift when it comes to how we invest or how we utilize our money and our resources. And it happens along the way, but one big one is when you are at the point of retirement, because you have to begin learning to view your dollars as something you draw down from instead of just accumulate, right? There is
Because
this
you've been
natural
doing it for
shift.
3 decades.
There's a
4
distribution
decades.
mind
Which is
shift here.
hard.
Yeah.
That's a really hard jump for most people to make. But that concept happens all throughout life, no matter what age you're at. That mindset shift does have to happen along the way. So it's definitely about more than just, hey, I got to change this behavior and do this different. Because the way we think determines the way we live. The way we think will determine the way we act. So if we want to experience success in our goals and in our
Have to change our
finances,
mindset.
it starts in our minds. It starts with how we think, what we're thinking, and how we choose to process all of that, and it manifests through our actions.
But I think when bad things happen, especially financially, especially maybe right before retirement, we go into a protection mode. That's our fight or
Really
flight,
easily.
and we kind of start thinking smaller. I've got to save more. I can't live. But that doesn't usually help your mindset be free to go, what other opportunities are out there? Maybe what did this bad experience tell me to pivot to? How do you help people get out of that just protection?
And that's hard too, because we have both extremes that we sit with, right? We sit with folks that are taking way too much risk and like, hey, I'm going to continue this accumulation mindset even though I need to be saving some a little bit more and having more protection. Then we see some folks come in there that they just all are protection, like you're talking about. They're trying to keep it all and like they're scared. And so this is why you've saved for this season of your life. This is why you've done the hard work. This is why you've planned for retirement, is so that you can enjoy some of it now and that you don't have to live in fear. So, let us sit down and make sure that you understand, because a lot of times we fear what we don't really understand and don't know how it works. So if we walk you through, here's how your portfolio needs to be set up, or how it is set up, and how you should be taking distributions from these areas, then you're gonna have the peace of mind to know whether it's sustainable or whether it's not. Because a lot of times we're just guessing, if we're at home doing this on our own, protection mode, we're guessing, I don't think I have enough, and it becomes a feeling more than a fact. And that's why we want to talk the truth.
Well, and that's when the fear begins to drive the decision making. And when fear's in the driver's seat, it does not end well.
We only have about a minute and a half or so left, but you just brought up something interesting though. When people then move into retirement, they're like, okay, now I've got to hope this lasts. It is really hard to go from accumulating to decumulation. Any strategies, any books, what can somebody do to help them get out of that mindset?
Man, it all starts with the plan, what I've seen with folks. When they come down and sit with us as a team and they have someone outside of their circle and maybe what they've considered safe or secure or accumulation or whatever it's like, and sitting down with a professional who walks through many situations with many folks and are able to give them the peace of mind to say, this is the right direction and here's the why. And if you have your why and we can add to the strength of that, that's even going to be better.
And being willing to learn, even at that stage of life, continuing to be a lifelong learner. Be willing to see things from a different perspective, or maybe look at your scenario differently than you have before, which is why we love financial education. We do it all over. We do it through radio, we do it through TV, we do it in schools in our local area. We want to teach these concepts. So continuing that desire to learn, invest in yourself. Continue that desire to learn all throughout, even retirement.
Jimmy Wayne, take us home. Tell the folks what they're going to get from calling.
Man, we would love to meet with you one-on-one and help your family into deciphering what is your goal-setting plan that you need for your retirement goals. So you can reach us 866-691-7317, and we want to put together that income plan for you, the retirement plan that you deserve, the tax plan that we want to look at, all customized to your situation.
Thank you so much for watching the program today. Reach out to Jay and Brittany so they can help you with your financial goals. Thank you for watching.